It is 7 o'clock in the Central Time Zone, which means it's 8 o'clock on the East Coast, which is that way for you, I guess. Maybe? I don't know. No, it's that way. It means it's 5 o'clock on the West Coast. It is the 6th of June in the year of our Lord 2024, season 14, episode 32, 666 times, and I don't like that number. You have been welcomed to the Clubhouse Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, and pro wrestling, live every Thursday night. Yeah, I screwed up the time on the invites. I apologize. I can't do math. I went to public school, and it's okay. We love our teachers. Our teachers are awesome, but we always joke about public school because that's what we do. My name is Rob. I am the executive producer of the Clubhouse Podcast, and starting to get a little warm here in the Metroplex, but we had a great spring, so I'm not complaining. Alex is out on assignment tonight, but that does not mean I'm by myself. Right there. There he is. He is the official fact checker of Sooner Gator Productions, and a man who apparently has a new t-shirt to buy. You may know him as Ig Bunu, but his mama named him Don Ford. I'm going to call him Don Ford. Hey, man.
I get to the t-shirt. You say it's 7 Central. Right now it's 2 a.m. in Serbia.
And that is where your lovely wife is currently. Yeah. I know that. I keep up with
what t-shirts? What are you talking t-shirts?
Did you not watch Dynamite last night?
No, I haven't yet.
Somebody's got a new t-shirt. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying that I was at I was doing some media stuff for the show. Because I care so much for the kids.
Somebody's got a new shirt you need to go check out.
Okay.
We'll get to that here in just a little while. Let us dive in. With Alex not here, the banners could be kind of shoddy. So be aware of that. Let me see if I can. Oh, this is all the wrestling stuff. Hold on. I got to change the brand here. There we go. Clubhouse Podcast. All right, let us start. Let me see if this works. Oh, there it is. It's gonna be a little MacGyver tonight. Tonight starts the NBA Finals. The Boston Celtics, the Dallas Mavericks. Just to put things in perspective here, in the entire playoffs, the Celtics have lost 2 games. They swept Indiana in the Eastern Conference Final. Dallas, on the other hand, has lost 5 games on their way to the finals, but they did beat Minnesota in 4-1 in a series that, Minnesota was a team that people touted all year as one of the favorites, but they knocked off the Clippers in 6. They knocked off Oklahoma City in 6. They knocked off Minnesota in 5. They start on the road. Boston will have home court tonight in game 1, but I heard today they will not be wearing green for the first 4 games at all. Which is a little weird. It's the Celtics. It's what
the players won't.
The uniforms won't be, no.
Yeah, okay. The players' uniforms won't be.
John, what are your thoughts on this? It's NBA Finals, baby.
Well, here's the thing. I always, as a kid, liked the Celtics, me being half Irish and being Ireland, which is a prelude to something else we'll get into later. So I'm kind of conflicted because I like the Mavs. I can't stand the Cowboys, but I like the Mavs, and
that's fair.
It's great that they won that championship a couple of years ago. But you got that storied history of when it comes to historic great teams or franchises. When you talk about the Celtics and they had 10 in a row or 11 in a row, which is one of the greatest streaks in sports history.
Mm-hmm.
Sports history, not just NBA, but sport. But yes, they are favored. Yes, you got Luka and Irving, 2 great people. They're starting to click together. They're meshing very good.
Mm-hmm.
But to the Dallas fans out there, I hate to say it, I think it's going to be Boston in 5.
You say 5? Boston in 5 is your prediction. This is going to be a very interesting series to watch. I do believe Boston will win, but I think it'll be in 6. I don't think it goes 7, but I think the Mavericks will get at least 1 at home, at least 1 on the road, depending on how Luka and Kyrie can adjust, because they've done very well adjusting to the other teams they're playing. In a 7-game series, this will be very interesting, and we will be keeping an eye on that for you on this show. Also firing up this weekend are the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. My beloved Florida Panthers. Now, Alex texted me earlier with an apology because on this show 2 weeks ago, I said that Stars Edmonton was going to be a very interesting series. He did not agree with me. He thought that Dallas was going to just go crazy all over Edmonton. That did not happen, my friend.
No.
Edmonton is a team in these playoffs that if you give them room to breathe, they're going to run on you. And they did. They beat Dallas in 6 games. But now they go up against a team that is ready. The Florida Panthers, my beloved Florida Panthers, which is why I'm glad Dallas didn't win, because then I got my teams playing each other in the Stanley Cup Finals, and that's just not good for my blood pressure. But the Florida Panthers, this thing kicks off Saturday night at 8:30 Eastern, I believe, if not 7:30 Eastern, on the ESPN. Edmonton, can they pull a rabbit out of a hat one more time? I'm going to say Panthers in 6 also. This won't go the distance, but the Panthers will also have home ice, which doesn't necessarily mean as much in the playoffs as other sports. But I believe Florida, I don't want to use the terms team of destiny, but Florida the Oilers have 2 of the best players in hockey. Don't get me wrong. Florida's more ready, in my opinion, Don.
I agree to what you say a lot, but I am going to, if I had to bet on one prediction, I would say Edmonton in 6, if not 7.
Okay. All right.
But if I had to say, I'd say 6 or 7, but if I had to choose between the two, if I had to bet, I'd say 6.
All right.
And I'm not taking away anything from Florida. They're tough.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
what they did to the Rangers and stuff, and how they come back against the Rangers so many times, and that's the Rangers, you know. So I think Edmonton, it's just their year for Edmonton because it's been so long, and it's been that destiny, I think, for them. So,
and we will have, if they do not win, if Florida does win, we extend the streak of American teams winning the Stanley Cup more recently than Canadians winning the World Series. So you got that going for you, which is nice.
But how many Canadian baseball teams are there?
You had at least 2 for a while because you had Montreal, who then became Tampa Bay, but you still got Toronto.
Yeah, it's just one. So,
but that's all you need is one to win.
Just one.
All right. Speaking of baseball, let's get into Major League Baseball standings. In the AL East, the aforementioned Toronto Blue Jays, they're terrible. They're not terrible because they're only 2 games below 500, but they're 13.5 back in the division. That
was a good segue on my part.
Very well done. With a team that is tied for the best record in Major League Baseball, which we'll get to here in a minute. They are a game back on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay and Boston are tied. They're both 7.5 back of Baltimore. Baltimore now 4 back of the Yankees. By the way, on June 6th, the Yankees have 44 wins, Don.
June 6th, 44.
Yep.
And we have to go through September, the end of September?
162 games. They're a third of the way there, and we're not a third of the way through the season.
You said 44, and how many have they lost? Do you see? How many they played total?
19.
Okay, so they're
44 19.
Yeah. That's pretty decent.
In the AL Central, the Chicago White Sox, they only have 15 more wins than me. They're 25.5 back in the division. They're the only team in the AL Central that is double digits back. Because Detroit, who is ahead of them, is 16 games ahead of them.
Oh, gosh.
Detroit 2.5 back on Minnesota. Minnesota's 3 back on the Royals. The Royals now 4 back on Cleveland. And for those of you playing the home game, the White Sox have lost 13 in a row, and I believe they play Boston tonight. In the AL West,
what's the longest MLB losing streak?
Close to 30. It happened a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I want to say Tampa Bay did it.
Yeah, let me look.
In the AL West, still in the basement at 24-38, we have Law. Law is tied with Oakland. They are both 3.5 back on Houston. The Astros are 2.5 back on the Rangers. The Rangers now 5 back on Seattle, who leads the division. In the National League, in the NL West, the Colorado Rockies, they're 19 games below 500. They're 16 back. They've lost 5 in a row. They are 7.5 back on Arizona. Arizona is a half game back on the Giants. The Giants 1 game back on San Diego, and Misty's beloved Dodgers are now 7 up in the division. In the NL Central, the Cincinnati Reds are 7 back. They are a half game back on your beloved Pirates, Don. Pittsburgh now a half game back on St. Louis, so you're fighting for the middle of the pack. St. Louis is a game back on the Cubs. The Cubs now 5 back on Milwaukee. So you're only 6.5 out, Don.
I'll take it. Oh, by the way, 1961 Philadelphia Phillies lost 23 games. That's the streak.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
There you go. And in the only division that matters, the NL East, my beloved Marlins. Boy, are they bad. They are bad. They're very bad. They are 22.5 back in. They're 20 games below 500. They are 6 games back on Alex's Mets. The Mets have won 3 in a row. Miami's lost 4 in a row. The Mets are a half game back on Washington. The Nationals now 8 back on my Braves. The Braves now 8 back on Philly. Philly is the other team in Major League Baseball with the best record, also at 44-19. Don, are you ready for America's favorite game show?
Got it.
Would you like to guess who has it?
No.
It is now time for North America's favorite game show. Hit the ticker. Ding, 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 ding. What is the run differential for the Chicago White Sox?
It is the Sox.
Go.
Okay. I'm going to do negative 140.
I see Ricardo in the chat room. You say
Yeah.
negative 140.
Yeah. Ask Ricardo what he's thinking.
Well, I'm trying to go back and forth and stuff, dude.
Okay. Negative. We got an answer.
All right. He says negative 122. If you can see it, you should read it.
Okay. Well, I didn't want it to overtake.
I've got to do my stuff and Alex's stuff.
Okay. I'll keep it on the chat.
All right. So let me give you who's closest to them right now. And that would be not the Cincinnati Reds. It would be the Colorado Rockies.
Ooh.
Who are 21-40. They have a run differential of minus 97. The Chicago White Sox are 4 games worse than that at 15-47. That's a 242 win percentage, Don. Like I said earlier, they're 25.5 back of the division. They're 10-21 on the road. They have half that number of wins on at home. At home, 10-21, 5-26 away. Again, they've lost 13 in a row, Don. Don hits the nail on the head at minus 140.
Was it at exactly 140?
You exactly minus 140.
So do I
which
get
is
into your pocket and get $100?
Which is almost 50 worse than the team closest to them.
So do I get
and almost 100 worse than the closest team to them in the American League.
Oh boy!
And I'm not giving you $100.
Did I get to dig your pocket and pull out $100 bill?
I'm not giving you $100.
Okay.
Because I would have to have $100 first.
Okay.
But well played, sir.
Okay. That was just random. I did not cheat. I'm being honest. Because I remember it's like 120. I thought it was like 125 or something like that last time or whatever. So
that's a smart way to play the game, because that way you keep track of the deal.
Okay, so Ricardo says negative 122. He puts damn. Then he goes, wait, he's over. I'm under. I win. He goes, actually, I was on key. So actually, I win, Ricardo.
All right, let's get into television talk. One of my wife's favorite shows on Apple TV Plus, making headlines this week. The Morning Show season 3 adds the great Marion Cotillard. She will be joining the cast of that show. So if you like that show, get ready for that. BET Plus, which is not something we normally talk about, but we have a renewal there. They have a show with comedian Dion Cole. And if you have not seen his Netflix, they did a series on Netflix called, I believe it's called The Comedians or The Comics or something.
Mm-hmm.
His set, absolutely killer. You would recognize him. He's on a show called Average Joe, which is loosely based on the creator's life, where he's a blue collar worker whose father passes away, but he finds out that his father was living a double life and owed a lot of money to the mafia. That gets renewed for season 2 on BET Plus. There's a lot of shows on BET Plus that I see signs for all the time. Like if I'm driving home on the billboards and stuff, I know Ms. Pat has 1, if not 2 shows on BET Plus. They got a lot of programming on that particular app. Big news from Comedy Central, Don.
What's going on?
They have stolen a show from Paramount Plus. Not really, it's the same company. But season 3 of a revival show goes from Paramount Plus to Comedy Central. It's been renewed for season 3. Season 2 will be on it.
Revival show?
A show that has been revived for the second time.
Which one?
Oh,
really? So it's going to Comedy Central.
Yeah, it's going to be on. We're kind of funny. Yep. The Beavis and Butthead revival moves to Comedy Central from Paramount Plus and has been renewed for a 3rd season. If there's no music videos, I'm out.
Well, actually, they do
more
than music videos. They'll do like YouTube videos now and stuff too.
Same, dude.
I kind of like to change because they do both. So.
I like the music videos. That's the only reason. That's
okay.
I mean, there were some good sketches and stuff, like little shorts, but the music videos made everything for me. I just remember one time they showed a Milli Vanilli video and they weren't even talking, and they would just cut back to Beavis would look at Butthead, and then Butthead would look at Beavis, and not even talking, and then you just see.
They did that too on The Right Kind of Love. It's the right kind of.
Oh wow! Look at Don.
They just looked at each other and just.
Who was that? Now you're gonna make me look this up.
Okay.
I know what song you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the right kind of love. It's the right.
Jeremy Jordan.
Yeah, that one.
Wow.
The song we're trying to forget.
Don with the deep cuts. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
The CW has canceled All American after 3 seasons. There was a lot of hope going into this season that they were going to get season 4. They will not. Interesting news from HBO Max. Now, Don, did you watch The Last of Us?
Yeah.
So we know it's based on a video game.
Yes.
And there is a second video game called The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
Apparently, the storytelling in The Last of Us Part 2 is very, very deep because they have said it's going to take 3 seasons to tell the story of that game. And they're going to take their time with it.
So they are going to do The Last of Us is going to do now season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do the second game, but so basically there's going to be 3. There's already been the first season. There's going to be 3 more seasons, basically.
If they get the viewership, they said they want to take 3 seasons to tell the story of the second game.
I'm game.
And Ricardo says as they should.
Yeah.
So
I'm totally game on that one.
We have news from The Voice. Adam Levine will return for season 27, and Kelsey Ballerini will be joining the show, probably to replace Reba because Reba's got a new show coming out.
I never got into that. I like the idea of just hearing
my wife
sing.
Loves The Voice.
Oh, that's fine.
She watches it with her mom a lot.
I like the idea where it's not just all looks. It's, can this person sing? And that's the big thing. Which I
didn't know Reba had a restaurant up in Oklahoma, and in that restaurant they have a replica of the Voice judge chair that you can sit in and take.
That's original.
That's kind of cool. I saw something. Yeah. Paramount Plus, we talked about them earlier. They have renewed Criminal Minds Evolution for season 3.
Which network?
Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Showtime, and Don, I know this. I'm pretty sure this was a show that you watched Dexter, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
We're getting a prequel series.
Also, now because they did the regular Dexter for the 8 seasons or whatever it was, then they did that recap, and now I guess they're gonna.
Well, not a recap. It was a revival.
Or revival.
A reboot. And I'm
A
not really
reboot, yeah.
a follow-up. But this is a
follow-up.
prequel. It will be called Dexter Original Sin
Okay.
with Patrick Gibson playing a young Dexter set in 1991 as he's going into college. I'm okay with the casting. And playing his dad, who was an influence on him, will be one Christian Slater. What do you think about that?
I like the guy, but I could see. I don't know the guy who played the father originally. Is he still alive, or that's my question?
Fact checker that could look that
Yeah.
up.
Let me look at it because if the thing is, if they're trying to do a prequel, they'd have to make him look a lot younger. You know what I'm saying? The
Oh
father.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Was it James Raymar played Harry Morgan?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, James Raymar is still with us, as far as I know.
Okay.
Let me double check that for you.
But still, Slater's still a great actor. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Also, another move for going from True TV to TBS this fall, Impractical Jokers is moving. So if you're a fan of that show.
Yeah, real fast. My question also, I don't know if you can tell me on this. I'm going to pull it up because I'm trying to get her name. Come on, computer. Jennifer Carpenter, is she going to be coming back too?
That's all we know right now.
Okay.
I'm assuming not, since they're going back 30 years.
Well, that was his sister, though.
Yeah, but still, it's going back 30 years.
Okay.
But Don, Prime Video made an announcement yesterday. They are looking to revive a game show that was ingrained into our generation's DNA.
Can I guess?
Because
I don't know.
To try.
Joker's Wild.
TBS did that a while back with the Snoopy Dog.
Okay. And then the Tic-Tac-Doe.
No, but I've heard it's coming. Okay. And that's one of my personal favorites. Those are two of my favorite game shows of all time.
Remember the dragon always come up on the dragon with the Tic-Tac-Doe?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say look in the chat, Don.
Oh, no.
American Gladiators is being rebooted by Prime Video. I didn't like the last version of it they did. There's a great documentary series on Netflix.
Mm.
And there's actually two. There's a 30 for 30.
Yeah.
And then Netflix did a documentary. If you watch both of them, you get a really good picture of the instability of that whole original run. But it gave us Mike Adamle, Don.
Well, that's why my agent's been calling us. I think they want me to be one of the gladiators.
If you get on American Gladiators, that, my friend, Igbunu equals American Gladiator ratings bonanza. And I would be here for it.
Yeah.
But you got to sell it, Don.
I know.
We're putting this out. Hashtag Don. Actually, hashtag Igbunu for American Gladiators.
Yeah.
Let's get this going, people.
The immortal Igbunu.
You would never have to buy me another Christmas or birthday gift for the rest of my natural life. That is the gift that just keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Even if Ricardo agrees with me.
Yeah. Let's go.
TV on DVD and Blu-ray this coming week. Season 3 of Superman and Lois as we are gearing up for the 4th and final season. Season 16 of Heartland. I can't believe that show's been on that long. And we've got the complete series for the Jeffersons and Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, wow.
Welcome.
How many seasons was the Jeffersons? Gosh. I always watched that show. Didn't understand much of it. But...
And what was that a spinoff of, Don?
So what?
What was the Jeffersons a spinoff of?
I'm trying to remember. I lost it. I know
it was on for 10 years. It was on for 10 years, Don.
I can't tell.
75 to 85.
Okay.
It was a spinoff from All in the Family.
That's right, because he was a character on there. Exactly.
Yep. Loved that show so much. It was so great back in the day.
And the thing is, I remember when I was in DC last year in the Smithsonian, which is so cool. They had the Archie Bunker and Edith chair in the TV in the pop culture area, which was really cool. Even had the little table with the ashtray.
I want to say it's either the Jeffersons or Happy Days has the record for the most shows spun off from it. Because you had Mork and Mindy and for sure Joni Loves Chachi that spun off of Happy Days, but with All in the Family, you had the Jeffersons, which also I believe spun off Different Strokes, and you also had Gloria, you had Archie's Place, and Rhoda, all spun off from that show. I believe that's how that went. What you got, Don?
All in the Family had then spin-offs 7.
Yep, All in the Family has had 5, but so has Happy Days.
Okay.
Now, but if you include spin-offs of spin-offs, it had 7.
Yeah, Law and Order actually has the most if you look at it.
Yeah, but those aren't technically spin-offs.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
No, I'm talking about that came from the main show.
Okay, Cheers had Frasier, The Tortillas, St. Elsewhere, and Wings.
Not St. Elsewhere. It was The Tortilla, Wings, and Frasier. But there was a spin.
No, they said St. Elsewhere was a spin-off too.
I need to see the paperwork on that because I think St. Elsewhere came first.
No, hold on. Was Frasier becoming a divorce? Okay, St. Elsewhere has a few crossovers from the characters from Cheers.
Yeah, but that's not a spin-off.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're saying.
So yeah, so All in the Family, Happy Days, Cheers. So there's that.
Yeah.
All right. We have some sad news to report. We've lost a couple of theaters here.
Oh man,
Fairburg. A couple of days ago, one right up the street from my house. The Plano Angelica Theater. We were talking about that in pre-show. I was actually the last time I was at the Angelica in Plano was last year for a movie called I'm Mordecai. Which is a great film if you have it. I'm sure it's available everywhere you can stream. Wonderful film. Saw it with the director. It was filmed very close to where I used to live. Also, all 6 DFW and 1 in Minnesota of the Alamo Draft House. They shut the doors this morning. I was actually at the Cedars location last night working on a video project, which we can talk about a little bit down the road. So to wake up to that this morning was a little weird for me. I was like, oh, goodness gracious. I might have been there literally in its final moments. But right before this weekend, which is not Retro Expo, that's next month. Fan Expo Dallas is this weekend. So that was, and that headline was all over the place this morning. So we want to send our best to the people that are out there that have lost their jobs. Over 600 employees from that one.
From that many.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Business is business. Yeah. We don't know. Can they bring it back? Yes. From the statement. They're hopefully someday it will be back. I love the Alamo. It was kind of weird because I was at a press screening, which we'll talk about in a little bit, last night. At the one in Cedars.
No, you were at Lakewood, weren't you?
Yeah, Lake Highlands, they call it. Lake Highlands.
I was at Cedars.
Yeah, I mean Lake Highlands. I'm sorry, but right one off of Abrams. But you always seem to be doing it. I love the thing about the no talking and texting, and because how many times you go to opening weekend on a big show and you get a bunch of high school kids behind you with the text and the rings and the thing the entire time through them, it's just like, oh. So.
And Ricardo said there were supposed to be a couple of events there this weekend with Fan Expo.
Oh, ouch.
I'm sure they'll be able to pivot. I mean, this is a big weekend in Dallas. If you know anything about Fan Expo, it's a big. I'll be there this weekend hanging out with Dave at his booth. So if you're at Fan Expo and you see the 1-to-1 Iron Throne photo op, that'll be me hanging out there with my buddy Dave and his lovely wife. And so come by, say hello if you're at Fan Expo this weekend. A lot of great celebrities. I know friends of the show will be there. Like Brent Peoples, he will be there this weekend. Kez Wilson, who I have worked with on 2 different panels, he will be there this weekend. And you never know who you might see walking around.
Yeah.
It's a crazy weekend. I'm looking forward to hanging out with and seeing my con family. I know Ricardo's going to be there doing some volunteer work this weekend as well. So come out, hang out with us at Fan Expo this weekend. We have some news about the next Predator film, Don.
Fill me in.
It is called Badlands.
Okay.
And basically, I think we showed the teaser poster for this on the show about a month ago. This is basically a Predator getting dropped into the war zone in World War II.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you take Predators, even with, and I love Walter Goggins and all that, so the cast on that was incredible. But and I think that was the last Predator film. I think was the Predator.
There was Prey. Remember, Prey was on Hulu last year before. And
but theatrical release. I think
theatrical. I think Prey did it got a limited.
Okay, but I don't. This one, because I like the cast. I like the idea, but then it was just. It's just like the AVP Requiem.
Well, Requiem was actually closer to the original script. Though I liked Requiem better than the first one because the first one was like, stop trying to make me care about the humans. I want to see aliens and predators fight. That's the point.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but Elle Fanning will star in this one.
Okay. I'm game on that premise.
I love the concept. I'm here for
World War II.
Evangeline Lilly, who many of you know from Ant-Man and the Wasp or from Lost, she is retiring from the business for a while. She said, looking at the next chapter of her life. Do you remember who Beck Bennett is, Don, from SNL?
Not really.
He would always play these real snooty kind of, hey, how you doing kind of characters.
Okay, good.
He will be in the new Superman movie as another reporter at the Daily Planet who basically works into his acting wheelhouse. So there's that. We also have the title for your next Benoit Blanc film, Don. Very excited. Why you look confused? Do you not remember who Benoit Blanc is?
Mm-mm.
I need to take a sip of my beverage. I'm yodeling.
Oh, God.
Knives Out, bro.
Okay. Knives Out.
So it's called Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Here's who's been announced for this film.
Is that the third one?
Glass Onion is the second one.
Mm-hmm. Give me 20 seconds. Rob, I got some at the door. 20 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
Be right back.
All righty then. So we're gonna put this in a holding pattern. Oh, I used to have a little graphic I'd put up that like we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by, and I don't have it anymore. But as I'm waiting for Don to come back, we are talking about. Oh, I need to change the banner too. And yep, Ricardo says the Mavs game is about to start. Yeah, I'm just not as good at this part of it as Alex is. Oh, we don't do that part anymore. I'll have to tell him about that. Okay. But we are talking about the third. They're calling it a Knives Out mystery. I feel like they should just call it the Benoit Blanc Adventures or something. But Josh Brolin, of course, Daniel Craig, Jeremy Renner, Mila Kunis, Glenn Close, Kerry Washington, Thomas Hayden Church, all announced for this film. Because what we know about these films is they are star-studded. And I loved the first two. Loved them both. Thought they were great. Because I'm also a big fan of the Agatha Christie mysteries. And that's what these really are. They're a love letter to that. So I'm here for it.
Jeremy Renner.
Uh-huh.
Is he going to be limited? I mean, what's his physical capabilities now? Don't get me wrong.
Apparently he's doing great.
Yeah.
Apparently he's doing very, very well.
So this was not pre-filmed before the accident.
They haven't even started yet.
Okay. So yeah,
because it's supposed to come out next year.
Yeah.
The plot currently unknown.
So if he can make it back, hey, great to the guy. I'd love to see him back on the screen after.
So Ryan Johnson is again writing and directing. So, but again, loved both of those films, and so I'm ready for it. Remind me, Don, did you enjoy The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the prequel to The Hunger Games?
There were good things about it. I'll say that, of course, Dinklage in his character and how to add to it. And I like the idea of the premise of how the Hunger Games evolved to making them stardoms and stuff. So there's good things I like in the show, how the Hunger Games started and to where it got the main series started.
Ricardo just put some in the chat room. Ricardo, next time we hang out, remind me to tell you about the Easter egg about Chris Evans' character in Knives Out that I actually contributed to IMDb and they used it. You're getting another one. It's going to be called The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. This will take place 40 years after Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The book comes out next year. They've already said the movie will be out in 2026.
So this is going to be around the 50th Hunger Games then.
Yep. And it's actually going to deal with Hamish Abernathy, who was Woody Harrelson's character.
Okay. And how he probably won the Hunger Games or whatever.
No, he did, because that's how he became the mentor for.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So,
movie new releases and places you get movie new releases this week. We're gonna bury the lead a little bit here, because I want to work our way up. First up, coming out tomorrow, is Kyle and the Last Emerald. After moving, Kyle meets a man who warns that evil people seek an emerald that could doom the world. Kyle and his friends search for it to stop the villains. So you got that going for you. We also have School of Magical Animals 2, because there were so many unanswered questions from the 2021 School of Magical Animals. And I would be willing to bet, Don, you have not seen that. The students of the School of Magical Animals want to perform a musical for the school's anniversary. Will the rehearsals end in chaos, or will the class pull together? And what's up with the strange holes on the school grounds? I didn't write that. No, I don't recognize anybody involved. But the other two new releases we do have represented for you. They are reviewed at www.theclubhousepodcast.com.
Our website.
And we start with The Watchers, coming out tomorrow. Dakota Fanning is your lead in this. I noticed in your review, Don, currently posted at www.theclubhousepodcast.com, you didn't say much about the director of this film.
Okay.
It's Shyamalan.
Yeah. The producer was the M. Night. This was the daughter.
That is correct. Good. I was making sure you knew that this is his daughter.
Yeah.
Basically, we're going to use the IMDb description.
Okay.
A young artist gets stranded in an extensive, immaculate forest in Western Ireland, where after finding shelter, she becomes trapped alongside three strangers, stalked by mysterious creatures each night. Now, for me, no, I'm out. But you saw this last night. You were a little lukewarm on it, if I read your review correctly.
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of like the premise. It was beautifully shot, beautiful scenery, everything like that. I like that it was small around that house, but my major issue in the acting was really good between it's a small cast. Basically, the four characters you see, that's it. The problem is, this is one thing I loved on Stars or whatever is the show From.
Mm-hmm.
And this is,
I want people to read your review.
Yeah, it's a ripoff of that show, basically.
Okay.
In the ending kind of, so it's not going to be my top 10 of the year, but I didn't hate it. But I like the show From a lot better, and it just reminded me too much of a ripoff of that.
Okay.
So,
your release this week is the fourth film in the Bad Boys, I guess we can call it a franchise now, Bad Boys Ride or Die. I am so happy, because I was very concerned going into this film. The trailer looked terrible. I talked to Alex extensively on my way home from the screening Monday night, and a friend of the show is in the credits. You have to find it. But I thought they took some risks, and I thought it went well. I enjoyed this film. I will be buying the soundtrack because I have the first three. As I wrote in my review, I'd forgotten to get the third ones. I have gotten it since. It's at www.theclubhousepodcast.com.
That's still our website.
But it's a fun movie. You didn't like it as much as I did, but I really enjoyed this film. I wrote in my comments that Will Smith and Martin Lawrence prove that the buddy cop movie still works. Now, here's your trivia question, and I put this in my review as well, Don. Do you know who the first one was originally written for? Did you read that in my review? John Lovitz and Dana Carvey.
Okay.
I used to have the Laserdisc, and it said that on the back of the Laserdisc. But
I could see them as a thing on that.
Not with that script.
Yeah, my thing was a lot. It was as good as the first one or two. No, I think. Would you agree with me on that?
The first one for sure. Yeah. The first one was. I have such fond memories of watching the first one.
I'm just saying. Do you think that the first two were the top two?
I need to go back and watch them again.
Okay,
and then I can rank them.
Okay,
because I own the first three.
Yeah,
I got 3 packs, and I got to get the other one when it comes out. But I really enjoyed it, and I tried to, and I purposely didn't go back and watch the first 3 because I really kind of what I've been doing is not doing the rewatch. I'll watch them after because I want to go in as objective as I possibly can.
So there's a bit of comedy. They added to it. It shows a great relationship between the two.
And if you're a fan of drone camera footage, enjoy this one.
You're gonna get some great shots, the action, the mindless suspension of disbelief. So all that stuff's gonna be there, the explosions, everything else. So yeah.
Movies on DVD and Blu-ray, where you get DVDs and Blu-rays this coming week. Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, which I think all 3 of us have reviews up for that.
Yeah.
Immaculate with the Sydney Sweeney. This is a horror film, so I'm out. The faith-based golf film, The Long Game. Stop motion is one I think you might be interested in, Don.
Okay.
This is we know what stop motion animation is, right?
Yes.
It's a horror movie done with stop motion animation.
Okay.
Looks interesting. Origin, which is Ava DuVernay's film earlier this year that got a lot of buzz early on, and the documentary Remembering Gene Wilder, which I am very, very interested in. All right, hold on. I got to do a thing here. I'm going to hit this button right here. Professional wrestling. Let's get into it. Not a lot to talk about from a wrestling standpoint this week, Don. I don't know about you, but if I had to sum up all of the programming I have watched in the last week, the one word I can come up with is uninspired. There was a few things that happened. And I've watched a lot of wrestling because I was out of town Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and had no time to watch anything. So when I got home, I literally had to start with Dynamite and got all the way to Dynamite today. A couple of non-mainstream headlines. The Beast is now your 2-time WOW World Champion. She won the belt this past weekend. Also announced somebody Don and I interacted with at the Dallas International Film Festival. She is known as Sophia Lopez on WOW. One of the things that I didn't recognize her was because her hair was very short. We found out that part of the reason for that is she is going through treatment for breast cancer. And so we want to wish her the best and tell her we support her. And MLW's pay-per-views are going to be moving to YouTube via a paid membership. So if you subscribe to MLW, you've got that going for you. This Liv Dom thing as we get into WWE, Don, it is immeasurable how little I care about this. It really, really is.
I think that she was just trying to get into the Judgment Day and take her spot, the spot and everything. and then maybe.
Oh no,
What's
she said what her master plan is.
Well, she
It's
can say that.
she's looking to split them up. She's looking to take everything away from Rhea. She's taken her title, and now she wants to take her boyfriend.
No.
I don't care.
No, the question is, I thought they were going to be doing a different angle with Bo Dallas coming back, and she would be,
I don't think that's going to be Liv. Everything I've read said it's going to be Nikki Cross.
Okay. As the Uncle Howdy or whatever is.
But we also, I mean, you could have Alexa rejoin too.
Yeah.
Or maybe Alexa's actually Uncle Howdy, because remember, she took the power from Bray.
Yeah.
When they were
I'd like to see Bo Dallas back. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. But there's a bunch of different ways this thing could go. And I love the game they're playing with the fans, though. Keep them guessing. Keep them guessing. Oh, it's going to happen here. It's going to happen here. No, just keep them guessing.
On what? I mean, what's going
to happen? All the cryptic messages and putting dates on the screen, and that date comes in because they had one of the codes had the geographic coordinates for the arena they did King and Queen of the Ring in. Nothing happened.
Okay.
I love it. Keep it going.
Yeah.
NXT Battleground is this Sunday. We know that Carmen Petrovic will not be involved. She is out injured with no return. Don, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
NXT Women's title on the line this Sunday night.
Okay.
Roxanne Perez takes on Jordynne Grace. How does it go down?
Perez wins.
I think.
Well, hold on.
I don't think it's clean, because Jordynne had a really good showing at the Rumble. I think there's going to be shenanigans.
Okay, let me ask on the Jordynne Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Is this title versus title, or just the NXT's?
NXT.
Just the NXT's up for grabs, right? Yep. I could see her. I'm sorry. Let me track. Jordynne Grace wins, and that way she could take the title to Impact and stuff like that, and go between the two, dual champion, kind of like what Kenny Omega did.
Okay. Let me tell you why I disagree. Impact tapes like 3 weeks at a time. Their pre-taping should go through next Thursday. By the way, if you have TNA Plus, they are airing Impact live at the same time it's showing on Access TV now, so you don't have to wait till it's over.
Oh, I gotta go back to Ricardo.
So, but she has that on the back of her jacket, Don.
What?
The NXT-TNA?
No. What he said about Liv and Rhea versus for the ladder match.
That was a meme last weekend.
But still, I can see it for the custody of Dom. I love that. Ricardo, that was awesome.
Dominic in a shark cage. Is that what we're doing, Don?
I just say for the custody of Dom, just like, because remember there was a ladder match for the fathership between Eddie and Ray for the custody of Dom.
I remember.
I can see it again. Part 2, the custody of Dom. Part 2. Ricardo, you should write for the WWE.
That
you
man
make
is
the thing
a
better.
grown adult, Don.
What?
He's a grown man.
Not mentally.
Well, that could be challenged.
Yeah, the mustache he's trying to grow, which won't grow.
Hey, I'm not going to hate on somebody trying to grow hair, okay, in any way, shape, or form. But because they tape so much, they have a plea next Friday. Now, if the plea came before, if it came before Battleground, I would say there's a chance. But I don't know that it happens yet. I have been reading this week that HBK has said this is not a one-off deal. We are going to be doing more stuff with TNA.
So do you see a TNA invasion possibly?
Not necessarily an invasion, but I think this will be their version of Forbidden Door. Where I'm already reading rumors that they are planning some kind of a crossover for Bound for Glory, which would be a big deal for TNA because that is a pay-per-view for them, and other stuff here and there. speaking of which, people that are TNA contracted, coming up 2 weeks from Saturday in Carrollton, Texas, there will be an indie show. I'll be posting that to our social media very soon with our friend Mr. Wobble. On that card will be one Josh Alexander.
Okay.
So we're going to try to go and see Wobble and see that great card on the 22nd of June. So be there for that. But I think this is the beginning of something. I don't think this is a one-off for Jordynne Grace and Roxanne Perez. But I think it's going to be a fantastic match. So Ethan Page, now part of NXT. He will be challenging Trick Williams on Sunday for the NXT title. I think this is a great shot in the arm for NXT because we all love All Ego Ethan Page, and he is full heel in this thing. It turns out he was the one that attacked Noam Dar, and he's the one that attacked I just forget his name. The other guy that's in Metaphor. Mensa? Is that his last name? Dun, 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 dun. Talk to me. Oro Mensa.
Okay.
Ricardo says, give me Moose versus Drew. I think that you're going to have something of its ilk for Bound for Glory, and it's going to be fun to watch. We are seeing an era now that our entire lives we thought would never happen. But I think it's because people that are our age are the ones in charge. And so all the things we wanted to see when we were kids are the things that they wanted to see when they were kids. And now it's come to fruition, and I am fully here for it. But I do wonder, what are we doing with Charlie Dempsey? On NXT this week, all of a sudden he's just practicing. He's practicing his acting to a mirror. He just kept going, are you talking to me? I'm like, no, Batista did that first. But, yeah. I mean, there was a point where he turned to the camera and he looked just like his old man. Like, spitting image was just with more hair than William Regal. It was crazy. AEW, Wheeler Yuta returned cleared to return to the ring, and he did so last night. Looked great. Bryan Danielson, right after the match, said he is declaring his entry into the Owen Hart tournament. So we got that going for us. And Alicia Atout is now All Elite. She showed up last night in a digital exclusive. So she's part of the company now because her boyfriend's very popular in the company. Her boyfriend, Don's favorite wrestler. Her boyfriend's better than you, and you know it.
I didn't know they were dating.
Well, they have been for quite some time, sir.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So yes, did you see the new MJF shirt yet, Don?
No, I have not.
All right,
but pull it up.
I gotta pull it up for you. Hold on. Is it AEWshop.com?
Yeah.
I think. ShopAEW.com.
Shop AEW, okay. Get it right.
I'm waiting for it to do the thing that it's supposed to do here. All right. Braves win. Good news. 30% all Devil merch if you use Devil 30. Yeah, there it is. Don, I think you're going to like this one. Get ready. You ready?
Okay. Watching.
You ready?
Yeah.
Share screen. We're going to share this screen right here. What do you think, Don?
Yeah.
You don't like it? I think this is a great shirt. Oh, this is
let me draw on it.
I like it. He's billing himself as the lone wolf, and of course, Wardlow.
Okay, yeah, now I get
Wardlow is taking exception to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind. I think I dig it.
Yeah,
he's the Wolf of TNA or something, and they're using the Wolf of Wall Street font for the shirt. But Double or Nothing was a thing last weekend or weekend before last. Thought it was a really good show. It ran really late.
Yeah,
it did. It was like 11:45 Central, but they were in Vegas, so it's only 11:45. But man, I'm glad the next day was a day off from work.
It was a holiday, yeah.
I mean, they've got to stop this, man. If you're going to do Sunday pay-per-views, don't run this late.
Or start early, start at 6.
I'm okay with that too. But and they did an hour and a half of the buy-in, which I thought that Jarrett did a really good job on the buy-in. He wasn't fully in character. Like he was talking like Jeff Jarrett, the businessman, which I thought was really cool. It was him, RJ City, and Renee. I thought it was a really good panel they did for the first half an hour. And there were a couple of good matches on the buy-in as well.
Yeah.
But I thought the show was great. Had no issue.
The show was great. And one thing I like about AEW, yeah, they could go wrong, but here's the thing. I mean, they go long, but they give you a lot of wrestling. It's one after the other. There's none of that waste of filler material. Let's go backstage and do some.
Well, you still have promos and stuff, but they don't dwell on them as much, and they don't.
That's the thing. It's one after they go,
and they don't do a lot of recap, which is nice. It's like what's going on.
I'm just saying the only mistake
for this, what's going on.
The only mistake I would do if I was the booker is I would give, and I love the guy, I give Ospreay the title shot at All In, not Forbidden Door.
Well, I mean, he could still get it.
But you get that's where I would say if I was to save, because that's going to be a good match. Swerve versus Ospreay is going to be a great match. Those two could go in the ring. I think it won't be as good as Danielson and Ospreay, but still, Swerve can go. That's why I would save that, because in that way you could have a lot of the people, since it's in England, to fill up Wembley. You got the hometown guy Ospreay going for the big title against a very popular champion now who came from the Ashes. So that's what I would do. I would have saved it.
Yeah, so, I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch Forbidden Door or not. Right now I can't plan that far ahead.
Yeah.
But I would like to watch it if I'm not booked for something. But yeah, I mean, it's AEW is consistently putting on very good pay-per-views, and they've got pay-per-views every month for the rest of the year but one.
Do they? Okay.
Alex and I were doing the math. I think July is the only month they don't have a pay-per-view, because you'll have All In August, you'll have All Out in September. There was something announced for October. November's Full Gear. December you'll have World's End. So
yeah, Forbidden Door, All In on August 25th. September 7th is All Out.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestle Dream on October 12th.
That's the one I forgot about. Yep.
Full Gear November, and then World's End in December.
So we're getting to that point now where we're going to have monthly pay-per-views, which means hopefully they will be striking a deal like the network did, so we don't have to shell out, $600 a year. And that's quick.
Or you go to a local, some places that show it.
I think the only option we've got left is Dave and Buster's.
They do it the one in Arlington.
So, anything else you want to talk about, Don?
Not really off the top. I'll say this, in today's world, there's some things that we have to be appreciative of, and we really need to go back to the basics, I think, but not to be too political. But, 80 years ago, this is the thing of D-Day.
Yep, today it is. Can you hear me, Don?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, my camera is blacked out. I don't know what just happened in here.
You're freezing. You're freezing on me, but I can still hear you.
Okay.
But it was kind of really cool to see the people, some of the survivors who were there, able to go back, and like some of them said, I haven't stepped on this beach in 80 years.
Mm-hmm.
But what those people did to sacrifice, and people say, you didn't save our country, you saved the world, is what these people did. And I agree with that. So, for the sacrifices for the people that, for the freedoms we have today, and also for the ones who never made it back, So I gotta say thank you. Even if we say it 80 years from now, and 80 years ago, say it again 80 years from now, never forget. So
well put, Don.
Yeah.
We have every intention to be back next week. I don't think we have anything on the agenda. Alex should be back, and we may have a special guest next week. You don't.
And
know.
I probably will not possibly.
Yeah, we'll figure it all out.
Yeah, we'll figure.
Make sure you visit our website, the aforementioned www.theclubhousepodcast.com. Find out everything you need to know and some stuff you don't. Follow us on your social medias. Don, point to the QR code. Point up Oh, okay. Yeah. Now point straight up into that corner. That QR code right there. That will give you all of our social medias and everything you need to know. For those of you on the audio version, follow us at The Clubhouse Podcast on everything but let's see. TikTok and X are both Clubhouse Show. You can follow me if you would like. Everything is Yes, That Rob Irvin. That is spelled ERVIN. My normal co-host, Alex Barnhill. You can follow him at Vexploit, VEXPLOIT, on all your social media. And remember, we got a great store at ProWrestlingTees.com for cool stuff.
You're able to get those awesome shirts that even make me look good and comfortable and can change your life. ProWrestlingTees.com/cheap podcast. And on Twitter, I'm Igbunu. IGBNUUU. It's written right there. Igbunu, right there. And also, if you want this man to your place, just like we did at the Diff recently and at the Real Al and everything else, email me, Don, clubhousepodcast.com.
Email Don for information on how we can come do a live show for you. We love doing live shows and hanging out with the Empire. You can email me questions, comments, concerns. Tell me to go pound sand. I am Rob at theclubhousepodcast.com. Charla Marshall is on Pinterest because we are morally obligated to say that. Our normal show every Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, is your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, and pro wrestling. So until next week, for Don, for Alex, for the Empire, I'm Rob. Clubhouse is closed, and Brittany Palmer's still doing her art, doing great things, and maybe my camera will come back next week.